The benefits of walking that I think everyone should know about. And I'm going to use my notepad because this is a low budget, high information session. I don't want to forget any important points to bring to you today. So, first thing, walking is not something that is saved for the later generations of our lives. I know that a lot of us have probably seen our grandparents go for walks, but to tell you the truth, walking is a beneficial exercise at any and every age. Especially in the United States, we know that obesity is an epidemic and prediabetes and type 2 diabetes are on the rise. One of the things that we can look at to help combat some diseases such as diabetes, cancer, high cholesterol is walking. What happens when we are walking that doesn't happen, let's say, when we're lifting really heavy weights? This does not mean you're on a treadmill walking on an incline or walking up a hill. That can be too intense for you. We want to start with lower level. Well, there's different energy systems involved. You don't need to know the ins and outs of it, but what you want to remember, when your heart rate remains at a stable lower level, as opposed to when you're lifting weights or doing high intensity work, when you have the heart rate jumping and then coming back down, what that does is allow our body to optimize the aerobic energy system. This is the beta oxidation, meaning we are improving the health of something in the cell called the mitochondria. Some people consider this the powerhouse of the cell. Your mitochondria is responsible for producing energy within the cell and therefore within the body. ATP is that energy that is used to carry out cellular functions, including ridding the body of toxins, also called reactive oxygen species. Strength and conditioning and weight training and power training are absolutely essential. However, we're talking about walking right now. Walking is a body-weighted exercise. It is good for people just entering the exercise space who require better bone mineral density. Again, weightlifting is going to be optimal for bone mineral density, but someone who hasn't done anything before, we want to get you started with walking. Very sedentary individuals who have not worked out for a while, this aerobic energy system, this efficiency for the mitochondria to work has decreased. Walking will help kickstart that engine. Metabolic disorder, walking. It's not a cure-all, but I do have friends and individuals that I know who have been diagnosed with cancer, and walking was one of the most important part of their regimen. Walking is a low-hanging fruit. It is a low barrier to entry. That means almost anyone can do it. If you're in one of the colder parts of North America or in the world where you don't get to benefit from the beautiful California sun, you definitely need to bundle up. This time of year in December, it is cooler and it gets dark earlier. So maybe you can opt to go with a friend or a furry one or a partner that can keep you accountable to your walking. I would recommend starting with 3 times per week, 30 minutes, and that can increase up to 45 minutes as long as you're able to do so without becoming too exhausted or too fatigued. How can we change our mindset about walking or exercise? Maybe instead of thinking, I need to lose weight, or I have to gain more muscle mass, or I want to get leaner, or whatever the reason is, we can think about optimizing our cellular efficiency. That way, we bring the reason outside of us, which is really inside of us because it's our cells, but now we want to optimize our cellular efficiency rather than concentrating on an idea of lack, of something we don't have, of beating ourselves up or suffering. I need to go hard or balls to the wall in order to make something happen. That's not true. So think about training your mitochondria. I think it's more empowering that way. Finally, when we consider entering the exercise space, maybe for the first time or for the first time after a long while, don't compare yourselves to the professional athletes that you may see on TV or social media. They are highly skilled, highly trained individuals. It takes time for you to train your body, to train your muscles, your tendons, and to train your tissues to be able to take on load. Starting with an exercise like walking is a great routine to get in the habit of, and then we can add in other things such as going to the gym or taking another more intense exercise class. But building that foundation is essential. The last question I will pose to you is, why are you doing this? And if you are exercising, is this something that you can sustain for the rest of your life? I like my clients or individuals that I get to speak to about this to think about beginning with the end in mind. For most people, I would assume that having a high quality of life, which includes physical independence, is very important to them. Well, if we work backwards, we need to have cellular efficiency for that and good body health. That means the environment of our body in good health. So when you're thinking about implementing a new routine, I highly suggest and emphasize walking as being an integral part of that routine.